Class M Swimming Championship, which was scheduled for 1 p.m. Eastern. We are currently delayed, waiting for a school that was late. Massac High School has arrived a short time ago and are warming up. We hope to get started perhaps as early as 1:40 p.m. So we are in delay. Your link is active and working here on the NFHS network, but we are hoping to get started as early as 1:40 p.m. You can stay with us here on the NFHS network. Also, it likely means that the Class LL Championship, which was scheduled for 6 p.m. tonight, likely will be delayed sometime, perhaps to about 6:30 p.m. if you're also interested in that coming up tonight. Thank you, and we'll be joining you, we hope, in about 10 minutes from now, and I'll keep you posted on the NFHS network from the Class M Boys State Championships.
If I could have Carrie Mims and Lindsay Fontana to the timer's desk, please. Carrie Mims and Lindsay Fontana to the timer's desk. does that feel? That's good. Yeah. You're seeing it. More than yet, last time. Are you gonna do it again or you left? Yeah. Okay. Good job, dude. Good work.
Swimmers, please clear the pool. Please clear the pool. Can I have Paxton Smith from Weathersfield and Oliver Carr from New Zealand please come to the timing table? Timers, if you are not already, please report behind the blocks. Timers behind the blocks. Timers, please report behind the blocks. Timers behind the blocks.
Hopefully we're not worried about it.
Oliver Carr, please report to the table. Oliver Carr.
Abby, you got a revised one?
Do you have a stopwatch and a clipboard? This is your cue to get behind the blocks. Again, if you're a timer, we need you to report to your stations behind the blocks. Clappers to your stations behind the blocks.
Hang on. I want to do a timer check, please. Lane 8, hands up, please. Three timer, lane 8, hands up. Lane 7, lane 6, lane 5 timers, lane 4, lane 3, lane 2, lane 1. Let's hear our timers, please.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Cornerstone Ball Center. Today's balls and balls.
Welcome to tonight's meeting. We view high school athletics as an extension of our education to improve sportsmanship, fair play, and respect for others. Tonight, I ask for the enthusiastic support for this important principle of security students. We know it's so awesome that this is all the same opportunity for all schools by honoring our request of being able to service the religious to capacity and respect. Thank you, and enjoy our meeting.
Tonight's meeting is being held in accordance with National Federation of CIAC rules and regulations. The CIAC is committed to practice good sportsmanship. We ask everyone to demonstrate behavior that is characterized by genuine, concern, and respect for others. Unsportsmanlike conduct.
And once again, good afternoon and welcome to the Cornerstone Aquatic Center in West Hartford, Connecticut for the CIAC Boys Class M Swimming Championships. Will be underway in just a few moments. And once again, welcome on the NFHS Network. I'm Ralph Bednarczyk. Thank you so much for being here and for your patience to get started in this boys swimming Class M championship, the second smallest classification. Five-time defending champion Pomperaug. The Panthers are here with another strong team, but everybody had to wait. We'll get started 50 minutes late. Unfortunately, Massac High School ran into heavy traffic on their way here and were heavily delayed, and then all programs had to do a secondary warm-up just to get started. So here we go with our 200 medley relay to start with Torrington, Avon, and Xavier will be in the water first, starting with the backstroke, and then we'll get going further from there. Obviously, some of the teams could be slightly off in terms of their timing and in terms of the rhythm that they're accustomed to, but we will continue and move forward. So in the medley relay with Avon having the lead out of lane 4, Torrington in lane 3, and Xavier High School in lane number 5. And there were numerous changes that also had to be made to individual events, the B and C finals too, so it's been an eventful morning for everybody here. The diving has been completed, and that scoring is already in the books. Pomperaug, 5-time defending champions of this event. No one has beaten them since the spring of 2018 because there was no swim meet in 20 or 2021. And then Pomperaug under Coach Fran Pentino in his 32nd year, they've won 4 straight since the pandemic. Do you have a chance to print me out with the names of the relayers?
I'm trying to get those. Hang on.
Yeah, because I don't have that for what I'm doing. So lane 5, Xavier will take the third heat with Avon in second and Torrington in third. Now we have a full house in the second heat. Unfortunately, they were not able to come up with all the changes that took place with names for these heats with all the changes. Lane 4 is New Canaan. In 5, Simsbury. In 6, Newington. In lane 3, Notre Dame West Haven. Brookfield in 2, Windsor in 1, Middletown in 7, and Cheshire in 8. Now the Butterflyers are into the water. And lane 4, New Canaan, has the comfortable lead. And of course, in these team swimming championships, the relays are the greatest points. Lane 5, Simsbury in 2nd. Out of lane 6, Newington High School's Butterflyer is in 3rd. And turning to the breaststrokers, and it remains the same with New Canaan in front, and Simsbury has narrowed the gap a little bit after the first 25, but a big turn by the New Canaan breaststroker, and he has separated himself from Notre Dame West Haven in 3 and Simsbury in lane 5. Turning to the anchors and the freestylers for New Canaan to close out this B final. And New Canaan by a lead of perhaps a body length and a half. It'll be New Canaan that captures the heat. Lane 5, Simsbury 2nd, Notre Dame West Haven in 3rd in the B final in the 200 medley relay. Then to the A final, where Pomperaug, the defending champions, as Pomperaug has been able to dominate relays during this 5-year stretch of winning Class M. Pomperaug has won 21 state titles, including the 5 in a row, split between Class M and Class Single L. So it hasn't really mattered for the Panthers whether or not they go up against the larger schools or the medium-sized Class M. Now to the A final, Wilton is in lane 4, the top seed. Pomperaug, defending champions, are in lane 7. Brookfield is in 5, E.O. Smith-Tolland in 6, New Milford in 8. Weathersfield finished 3rd last year in lane 3. Massac, who got here again late, we'll see how they will swim. Massac finished 2nd, and the Fitch Co-op is in lane 1. Underway with our backstrokers and New Milford. New Milford starts out with a terrific lead. New Milford will have Liam Fletcher Ford as their freestyling anchor out of lane 8 to be a real threat. So can New Milford stay close? The Butterflyers out of lane 4, and it's Wilton with a slight lead on what is a congested pack, but Wilton with their breaststroker doing great work, a Butterflyer rather, doing great work underwater to hand it off to the breaststroker. And a lane 4, Wilton flying forward with at least a body length lead and maybe a half. And Wilton, as they pop up out of water, it's Wilton out of lane 4, Brookfield in 5, a clear 2nd. Lane 7, Pomperaug, a clear 3rd. Now the breaststrokers to try to do damage. Wilton remaining in front, and now the lead has been extended by the Wilton breaststroker over Brookfield out of lane 5. And there for the touch for the freestyler finishing. Wilton captures the gold in the medley relay. Brookfield in 2nd, 3rd for Pomperaug, 4th for E.O. Smith-Tolland. Wilton under a new head coach, Matt Salig, joining the program this year, coaching both the boys and the girls for the first time. But he has great knowledge of his swimmers, like Ozzie Andrews, in particular Lucas Fontana, he has trained them at the Wilton Y with the Wahoos for a long time. So while he is a new head coach, he's been able to have a good feel of what Wilton swimming has been about. So we are through one event, and now we get ready for the 200 freestyle. And we have all names ready for that. We'll take a quick pause here on the NFHS Network.
Yeah, generally just one above the other.
Okay. So I don't know where the tape is. I don't. When are they gonna? Those are not instructed the next to that. Of the 2 free? Correct. The next 3 medals for that. Okay. You know, I'm just gonna take them together now. I know. I was gonna take them. Oh, that's good.
43. Yeah, well, now that he's underway, it's going okay.
I don't. Wait.
And back on the NFHS Network from the Boys Class M Swimming Championships. They've just printed out the names of everybody that was in the relay, so I'll give credit to the championship winning teams. First for Wilton, capturing the gold. Ozzie Andrews started off in the backstroke. The butterflyer Samuel Jacobson, Lucas Fontana, the breaststroker, and Hirsch Iyer closed it out as the freestyler for Wilton to capture it. Brookfield finishing second with backstroker Andrew Hadzitz. Kaysen Janney was the flyer. Gavin Page, the breaststroker, and the freestyler being Nicholas Colho. In third, Pomperog with backstroker Logan Merritt. Andrew Dawkins was the butterflyer. Luke Albino, the breaststroker, and Thomas Martin, the anchor and the freestyler. And how about E.O. Smith-Tolland by the tremendous Benjamin Pope. The senior was the freestyling anchor. Nick DeForge, the backstroke to lead off. Yibin Lin was the flyer. Alon Shemmer was the breaststroker ahead of Benjamin Pope. And in Heat 2, New Canaan is able to pick up the win there. Christopher Muller was the backstroker. Howran Lee was the butterflyer. Michael Ettinger, the breaststroker. And Adam Ballo, a freshman freestyler. Congratulations to all as we advance on. Now to our second event, the 200 freestyle. First of 3 heats. All 8 fully occupied. And this is one of the championship finals that is loaded with experience from a year ago. And when we get to it, 7 out of last year's top 11 are all back in the 200 freestyle event. So it should be a very fast race. We start off at a lane 4, Nathan Koch of Brookfield. Adam Mims in lane 5 of Wilton. Paul Stappa of Xavier in 3. Greg Pinchbeck of Wilton in 2. William Rogers of Pomperaug in 1. Oliver Luckin of Newington in 6. Paxton Smith of Weathersfield in 7. Declan Famiglietti of Pomperaug, a freshman, is in 8. And after the first 50, it's lane 3, Paul Stappa of Xavier. That is in good shape. And it's still Stappa after 75 meters. As Stappa bears in and makes his turn, he's still getting some pressure out of Nathan Koch of Brookfield. You might hear like a very loud hoot, hoot while watching today's event and any Class M events involving Brookfield. That's head coach Jason Page, who can really let it go, and he claims that his swimmers, while in the water under the heat of the moment, they can hear him with his very, very distinct motivational yell. Still out of lane 3, Paul Stappa of Xavier. And for the final turn, for his final 25 and under, he's got a 1 length plus lead on lane 4, Nathan Koch of Brookfield. Very close on the edge for lane 7, Paxton Smith of Weathersfield, and it will be Smith that gets second out of 7. Paul Stappa does get first. Nathan Koch takes third. Brookfield under third-year head coach Jason Page. Just finished his 9th year as the girls' coach. Previously did the New Canaan boys for a very long time. As we advance into our B final. B final, Aiden Welch of Pomperaug is in lane 4. James Hill of Weathersfield is in 5. Brian Zhang of New Milford in 3. Bir Duta of Avon in 2. Adler Greenwald of Middletown in 1. William Flynn of New Canaan in 6. Charles Lenahan of Middletown in 7. Austin Carter of Xavier in 8. And after the first 50, it's Charles Lenahan, senior from Middletown, that leads the way. Coached by Trevor Charles in his 23rd year, coaching both the Middletown girls and boys. A proud Middletown High School graduate in the class of 2000. And even through the first 75, it is still a large cluster. Look at how even everybody is. Lenahan at a lane 7. Alongside James Hill, freshman from Weathersfield, out of lane 5. Weathersfield under coach Lee Schwartzman. He only graduated 4 seniors, only has 2 seniors this year, but they're very talented in the freshman class. They're very young. They swam tremendously in the prelims, and they have great hopes that their freshmen will break all their records even today, but they've broken all the freshman regular season records like James Hill has. Hill right now is in second, but it's Aiden Welch of Pomperaug that leads the way. Welch is in. No, check it. It's Brian Zhang out of 3 that is in with the touch. Welch out of 4 takes second of Pomperaug. And third, we'll go to Adler Greenwald of Middletown. Lenahan, who started off so well in the first 50, Lenahan, Middletown has to settle for 4th. Now we'll get ready for the championship final. So here is a very stacked field. Starting with Cole Strickland. Last year finished third. Senior from Middletown. Zachary Sokol of Brookfield is in 3. He was 6th last year. Andrew Hadzis in 5 of Brookfield finished 7th. Julian Adu, a real threat here, finished 4th out of Notre Dame West Haven. Hirsch Iyer, last year the runner-up, senior from Wilton, is in lane 7. Robert Picarillo of Paparag finished 11th. New Canaan Stephen Magiera, a freshman of New Canaan, is in 2 to join the star-studded field. And Andrew Mims, senior from Wilton, finished 8th. So you have 7 of the top 11 from a year ago. But Strickland could be considered a prohibitive favorite out of Middletown. Cole Strickland at the State Open finished 7th in this event, the 200 freestyle. And now he looks for his first gold. Finished 11th also in last year's butterfly. Last year was the runner-up in the 100 butterfly. Very flexible. Trevor Charles loves how he never questions his training. So invested, and he has become confident in all of his work he puts in. It's a group of 9 seniors for Middletown, too, that hope to do big damage. Dad, also a Connecticut swimmer for the Fitch Co-op during his time before swimming at Central Connecticut State. Cole Strickland leads the pack through the first 50. And Hirsch Iyer of Wilton could also be a factor.
Let's go, Zach!
Out of lane 7, he'll swim at Division III Bates next year. But now Strickland, after the first 75, has created a lead of a body length and change. Cole Strickland getting even stronger off of his turn. Second place, Julian Adu of Notre Dame West Haven. Appears to be his challenger through the first 100. Strickland now pushing it to easily 2 lengths. And Cole Strickland on his way to a coronation. The battle is for second. Zachary Sokol of Brookfield is now even with Julian Adu of Notre Dame West Haven. But it's going to be Cole Strickland by himself. Out of lane 3, Zachary Sokol of Brookfield. It is Strickland capturing gold. Sokol with a strong final 50 gets second. Third to Andrew Hadzis of Brookfield. So Brookfield goes 2 and 3 with a strong 50 from the 2 of them. So congratulations to Brookfield. 9 seniors on the roster, 5 of them competing. Zach Sokol, known for having a great drive to succeed and heart. He has dropped about 8 seconds in the 200 freestyle since the season has started. And Zach Sokol, while Strickland takes home the gold, there may not be a better story than what Zach Sokol just accomplished. Off we go to the 200 IM. In the butterfly, Matthew Dudis of Wethersfield in 4, Ryan Kadoff of Simsbury in 5, Daniel Hickey of Wilton in 6, Brad Rojas of New Milford in 3, Aaron Fulling of Fitch Co-op in 2, Nathan Liu of Newington in 1, Charlotte Sohn, a girl swimming with Avon in 7, and McCobin Foster Salters in lane 8 for Newington. As they turn it over to the backstroke. On the far side, Aaron Fulling of the Fitch Co-op has a narrow lead over lane 6 Daniel Hickey of Wilton. Wilton's had great leadership this year from their captains, helping out first-year coach Matt Selig establish his presence in the program at high standards. But at a lane 5 make that's Ryan Kadoff of Simsbury, a freshman that has taken over since switching to the breaststroke. Look at Kadoff with a substantial advantage. And Kadoff has opened up an advantage of 3 body lengths. Out of lane 2 in second place, Aaron Fulling of Fitch Co-op. But it will be Ryan Kadoff by a long way. 2:14.59. A second and a half better than second place Aaron Fulling, or a second and change. Now to the B final. Fitch Co-op will be represented by Gabriel Pacheco as the top seed in lane 4. Tyler Silva of Pomperaug is in 5, a freshman. Cameron Place of Brookfield in 3. Chris Muller of New Canaan in 2. Giacomo Ponzetto of Brookfield is in 1. Zachary Sturgiotis of Weathersfield is in 6. Ethan Miller of Weathersfield in 7. And Garrick Napuli of Newington in 8. In the 200 IM. And the butterfly underway. Lane 6, strong first 50 for Zachary Sturgiotis. And part of that tremendous Weathersfield youth movement, Sturgiotis just a sophomore. And after the first 50 on the back, and turning it over to the breaststroke, it is out of lane 4, Gabriel Pacheco of Fitch Co-op, but Tyler Silva of Pomperaug is nearby. Pacheco by a half length over Tyler Silva, freshman of Pomperaug. And now to freestyle for the final 50. This is getting close as the Pomperaug large roster gets excited. Here comes Tyler Silva. And the freshman is in with the touch. Silva with a terrific final 25 of his freestyle. And the freshman sends a message of a sign of things to come for the Panthers program. He catches Gabriel Pacheco, 2:03.18. Pacheco finishes third, because sneaking in the back door was Cameron Place of Brookfield. Zachary Sturgiotis of Weathersfield takes fourth. Turning to our championship final, Lucas Fontana finished 4th last year. He's the top seed. Lane 5, Oswald Andrews of Wilton, his teammate. In lane 3, Peter White of Pomperaug, who's had a great senior year, finished 6th last year. Mason Iannotti of Massac finished 9th last year in 2. Luke Albino of Pomperaug is in 1. Pomperaug senior who finished 8th last year, Logan Merritt, back for an improvement. Gavin Page, the son of Coach Jason Page, now a sophomore, finished 3rd in this event last year. He is in lane 7, and Henry Gimby, freshman of Wilton, is in 8. Peter White out of lane 3 for a Pomperaug team that Hall of Fame coach Fran Pintino described as perhaps his least experienced in 20 years. He has needed his captains like Peter White and Luke Albino to do so much behind the scenes and set an example. Peter White, a butterflyer, he'll swim anything though. And in the IM, White is a junior captain. To the backstroke, where they're still very even, lanes 1 through 5. Fontana of Wilton, and we'll see when we change over here to the butterfly, or rather to the breaststroke. Will Fontana separate there? Fontana will swim at Division III's Middlebury in Vermont. But it's still Peter White narrowly in lane 3 over Wilton's Peter Fontana. And out to the freestyle. Here at a lane 7, here comes Gavin Page at the bottom of your screen. Gavin Page of Brookfield accelerating, and he's in with a gold. Gavin Page, not necessarily in the picture initially, but when it turned to freestyle, Gavin Page comes up gold. A year ago, Gavin was 7th in the 500. In the State Open, he won silver in the 500, bronze in this event in the 200 IM. He's had a tough year with a broken wrist mid-season. Recently had the flu, so he has been in recovery. And a proud papa next to me, who is not 100% himself today. But Gavin Page is able to come up with gold. Page 1, Fontana of Wilton silver, Peter White of Pomperaug takes bronze. Now to go to splash and dash, the 50 free. Owen Colho of Pomperaug is in 4. Kurt Jeschke of Wilton in 5. Osman Espinoza of Simsbury in 3. Connor Dolan of Wethersfield in 2. William Finch of Xavier in 1. Will Hardy of Massac in 6. Michael Ettinger of New Canaan in 7. Alone Schemmer of E.O. Smith-Tollen is in 8. It is Kurt Jeschke of Wilton with a 23.05. Owen Colho of Pomperaug takes 2nd and 3rd for Austin Espinoza. Now the B final. Nick Colho just watched his twin brother Owen, or rather, I'm sorry, relative of Brookfield. Colho of Brookfield is in 4. Owen Carter of Xavier in 3. Andrew Dowkis of Pomperaug in 5. James Sedor of Wethersfield in 6. Austin Carter of Xavier in 7. Maxwell Bradshaw of Notre Dame West Haven in 8. Neil Thompson of Brookfield in 2. And Nick DeForge of E.O. Smith-Tolland in 1. It will be Colho, the top seed, that wins the heat. Second for Owen Carter in his freshman year of Xavier, and tied with Andrew Daukus for second with a 22.93. Fourth for Austin Carter of Xavier. Now to our championship heat in the 50 free. Headlined by the returning champion, Benjamin Pope, now in his senior year of E.O. Smith-Tolland. Pope will swim at Bucknell and major in mechanical engineering. He finished second at the State Open in this event, a scholar athlete that has become an even greater leader this year in Omar Rosario's program. But his challengers, Liam Fletcher Ford of New Milford in 5, Gavin Giordano of Notre Dame West is in 3. He finished 6th last year. Fletcher Ford was 3rd. Hunter Keene of Pomperaug is in 6. He was 10th last year. Sterling Welsh of Fitch is in 2. Oliver Carr, senior from New Canaan, a tremendous swimmer, who will swim at Colgate, who did not swim in this event last year in class L. He finished 4th. So Carr will be a factor. Christian Wilk of Notre Dame West Haven in 7, and Kaysen Janney of Brookfield is in 8. Underway at the first 25. Great work done underwater by Benjamin Pope. Pope at a lane 4. It's a half body length or so for Pope to capture gold for the second straight year. Pope this time with a 20.54. So he breaks his own state record that he set last year with a 20.75. He drops the Class M record down to 20.54. The state record is 20.18 that has stood for 11 years. Benjamin Pope, the gold medalist. Gavin Giordano of Notre Dame West goes from 6th to 2nd a year later. Tied for 2nd, Liam Fletcher Ford of New Milford. 4th goes to Christian Wilk of Notre Dame West Haven. We are 4 events complete. I'll come back with a full scoreboard of the top 5 as we'll pause for about 5 minutes. You're watching the Class M Boys State Championship on the NFHS Network. And we welcome you back on the NFHS Network as you watch the boys Class M State Championship. We got a very delayed start today at 1:50 due to traffic. Unfortunately, Massac got stuck in a major Connecticut traffic jam with their bus. So we got delayed 50 minutes, so that's why we are through 5 events. The top 5, Paparag, the 5-time defending champs, 333.5. Brookfield in second, 238. Wilton third, 206. Wethersfield fourth, 150. New Canaan fifth, 133. The diving results are official. Maxim Lialko of Brookfield was the champion, with Curran Hegde of Paparag finishing second. Now we get ready for our 6th event and the 100 butterfly. And the first of 3, the C final. Looking forward to the championship in this. 7 of the 8 swimmers, again, were in the championship heat last year in the 100 butterfly. The one that wasn't, Oliver Carr from New Canaan, he was in the Class L final last year. So that could be the most loaded event. Last year, Oliver Carr finished 7th in the, I should say actually the 100 breaststroke, and 4th in the 50 free. So he did not swim this event last year in Class L, but obviously a medal challenger in other events. So that's how deep the 100 butterfly is today. So our first heat, lane 4, E.O. Smith, Talon, Yibin, Lin. Mason Culpa of Wethersfield is in 5, a freshman. Ansh Timal of Paparag in 6. Maxim Lialko of Brookfield is in 7. Kevin Shi of Cheshire is in 8. Cody Purcell of Middletown is in 3. Robert Vergara of Fitch Co-op is in 2. And Lucas Gizelis of Simsbury is in 1. Lialko is the Class M diving champion, but also does other events. There's a lot of divers in the bigger schools that don't end up swimming anything later in their careers. But Lialko, a sophomore, that also is a conventional swimmer. Lane 5, it's Mason Culpa, part of Lee Schwartzman's deep and talented freshman class. That could be a record-setting one before they end their careers. Now out of lane 6, Ansh Timal of Paparag has the lead, and it is Paparag's Timal that takes it. Cody Purcell of Middletown finishes in 2nd. 3rd to Robert Vergara of Fitch. And Culpa drops all the way back down to 5th in the C final. Now to the B final. Samuel Jacobson, senior of Wilton, is in lane 4. Michael Ettinger of New Canaan in 5. Ray Listorti of Notre Dame West Haven in 3. Bradley Cummins of Windsor in 2. Jaden Frank of Xavier in 1. Ethan Miller of Wethersfield in 6. Christopher Silva of Paparag in 7. And Wyatt Tavares, freshman from Wethersfield in 8. after the first 50 of the 100 butterfly, Michael Ettinger of New Canaan has the lead. Lane 5, Michael Ettinger. Getting pressure now to lane 4, Samuel Jacobson of Wilton. Who's got the last stroke? And it'll be Jacobson of Wilton narrowly. By 0.07 of a second. 5:55.21 for Samuel Jacobson. Ettinger takes second, third to Raymond Listorti of Notre Dame West Haven. Now to a championship heat, headlined by the returning champion Julian Edu of Notre Dame West Haven. Just a junior, and clearly on the college-bound track and likely a Division I swimmer in 2 years. Out of Notre Dame West Haven, swimming for Coach Ken Pearson in his 27th year, his 5th in his second stint, a 1980 Notre Dame West Haven graduate. Julian Edu is physically stronger this year as a junior, swims for the Cheshire Sea Dogs in club, and is up to 6'2". He finished 6th last year in this event in the State Open in the 100 butterfly with a 51.41. But was the Class M champion with a great number, 50.73 last year. A little slower in the State Open, 51.41. But he wants to break his club trainer's David May's record in this 100 butterfly. So he's thinking about greatness. Cole Strickland already with a gold medal earlier in the 50 fly. Finished second last year for Middletown in 5. Lucas Fontana of Wilton finished third last year in 6. Luke Albino of Pomperaug, lane 7. He finished 6th last year. Zachary Sturgiadis of Wethersfield in 8. He finished 8th last year. Oliver Carr of New Canaan in 1. Peter White of Pomperaug in 2. Andrew Hadsis of Brookfield in 3. He finished 4th last year. Again, a loaded field here. 7 of the top 8 from a year ago swimming again in the 100 butterfly. But it is the defending champion Julian Edu that did his work underwater. Edu being flanked by Strickland on his right. Edu has gold again, a 50.01. Julian Edu goes back-to-back in Class M in the 100 butterfly. Strickland with a 50.78, a good time that probably wins this event in most years, but not this one with Edu. Andrew Hadsis of Brookfield finishes 3rd. So the 50.01, 3/4 of a second better than his 50.73 last year. And Julian Edu will be a threat with that kind of number to perhaps win the State Open. Now to our 100 freestyle. First of 3. Owen Colho of Pomperaug in 4. Connor Dolan of Wethersfield in 5. Cooper Schwartzman of Wethersfield is in 6. Ray Ming Feng of E.O. Smith-Tolland, a freshman, is in 7. Freshman Lucas Lehman of New Milford in 8. Paxton Smith of Wethersfield in 3. Austin Espinoza of Simsbury in 2. Adam Raymond of Xavier in 1. Lane 5, Connor Dolan. Narrowly. Dolan has got it. Wethersfield takes the heat. Cooper Schwartzman, second for Wethersfield to go 1-2. Third to Owen Colho of Pampurag. Second heat, lane 4, Thomas Martin of Pampurag. Lane 5, Jack McHugh of Massac. Sterling Welsh of Fitch in 3. Nick Colho of Brookfield in 2. Reese Katanich of Wethersfield in 1. Aiden Welch of Pampurag in 6. William Finch of Xavier in 7. And Cameron Place of Brookfield in 8. Lane 4, Thomas Martin of Pampurag, narrowly over Jack McHugh of Massac. A strong turn for Thomas Martin created some separation. Martin by a half body length coming on strong. Pampurag teammate Aiden Welch in 6. It is Thomas Martin. And second, Aiden Welch. Pampurag goes 1-2. Sterling Welch. Welch takes third of Fitch. And now the 100 freestyle gold medal swim. Benjamin Pope, a prohibitive favorite. Last year's state open champion in this event with a 45.69. Winning both of his individual events in last year's Class M meet. Had a record-setting 50 free last year. Pope's competition, Hunter Kane of Pampurag is in lane 5. Finished 6th last year. Liam Fletcher Ford of New Milford finished 3rd a year ago. Andrew Mims of Wilton, lane 2, finished 7th. Gavin Giordano, sophomore from Notre Dame West Haven, in 1. Stephen Magera, freshman of New Canaan, is in 6. Christian Wilk of Notre Dame West Haven in 7. Zachary Sokol of Brookfield is in 8. He finished 9th last year. Stephen Magera is a freshman that swims for Chelsea Piers. Second-generation swimmer. Dad is from New Jersey, swam at the University of Pennsylvania. While Gavin Giordano, a sensational athlete of Notre Dame West Haven, does not club swim. He is a club lacrosse player, but yet he is talented enough to make the 100 freestyle final. Can someone challenge Ben Pope of E.O. Smith Tolland? Pope has taken everything to another level this year in terms of nutrition, become a great leader by example, teaching the younger guys, and he's teaching them how to win. Pope, after the first 50, has a body length lead plus. Pope has become a role model, a scholar athlete, and about to be a two-time champion. Pope will blow away the field on the 100 butterfly, a 45.53. So better than his state open number last year, which was 45.69. Pope goes back-to-back and will be a significant favorite, a heavy favorite in the state open Saturday. Hunter Keene of Pampurag takes second. Third to Stephen Magera, freshman of New Canaan. As a sign of things to come, Christian Wilk of Notre Dame West Haven takes fourth. Now we'll go to the 500 and a grueling 20-lap race.
Let's go, Cooper!
Okay. 500 freestyle. Gavin Page, who finished second last year, headlines the championship heat in our C final. Daniel Broken, freshman from Wethersfield, will be in lane 4. Jacob Jaskelevich of Torrington is in 5. Filip Korzinski of Wethersfield is in 6. Justin Bruno, freshman from New Canaan, is in 7. Alexander Azolas of Brookfield is in 8. Akshaj Yeragudi of Masuk is in 3. Cooper Brown of Avon in 2. And Joel Hessepler of the Fitch Co-op is in lane 1. We'll begin event number 8 of 12, and then we'll have our next pause.
Here we go, Justin!
Filip Korzinski of Wethersfield with a strong first lap to have the lead in lane 6. At a lane 2, Cooper Brown, freshman from the Avon program, appears to be in second. Oh, it did?
Jason, do you have the right wings for this seat for the
Yeah, give me the reseed. The reseed. Yeah, the 500 freestyle was reseeded, so Alexander Azolas, lane 1 of Brookfield. Christopher Lundquist of Cheshire, he was able to bump up, get into the 500.
Come on, Justin.
So someone dropped off.
Hang in there, buddy.
At a lane 6, then it is Cooper Brown. That was in lane 6. That was swimming well. And Cooper Brown still has the advantage. Lane 3, Filip Korzinski of Wethersfield in good shape in second as we've completed 9 laps. So Cooper Brown under head coach Todd Dyer. He has the lead. Korzinski in lane 3, a solid second. Lane 5, Akshaj Yeragudi of Masuk, a healthy third. But now past the midway point. Cooper Brown still leads the pack. But now we're seeing movement out of Filip Korzinski of Wethersfield, and also out of lane 5, Akshaj Yeraguti. It's about only a half body length lead for Cooper Brown. So our top 3 is very close through 15 laps. Yeraguti is now the leader, perhaps even with Filip Korzinski. And let's see where they stand on the turn. Still Yeraguti. Cooper Brown, in his first state event, has dropped to 3rd. Yeraguti in 5 in front of you. Korzinski, top part of your picture, in lane 3 is in 2nd. And the bell for the final lap. Akshaj Yeraguti has kept the body length lead of about a half to now a full. Yeraguti is going to take the C final. Filip Korzinski of Wethersfield will finish in 2nd. 3rd to Justin Bruno of New Canaan.
Second best time ever.
He's gonna do whatever he wants.
Thank you, Kevin. Now to the B final. Pomperog represented by freshman Declan Famiglietti. He's in lane 4. Charles Lenahan of Middletown in 5. Gregory Pinchbeck of Wilton is in 3. Oliver Luckin of Newington is in 2. Paul Stappa of Xavier is in 1. Bir Duta of Avon is in 6. Ethan Lamb of Wilton is in 7. And Daniel Broken of Wethersfield is in 8. Famiglietti and Broken are both freshmen. First lap, it's Avon's Abir Duta. Abir Duta continuing to maintain a lead through 5 laps.
Come on, dude!
As Charles Lenahan of Middletown is keeping pace with him. Lane 5, Charles Lenahan of Middletown. He part of the senior class at Middletown, along with The tremendous Cole Strickland. We'll see Strickland again later. Strickland, a 6'4" specimen that's awaiting his admission to attend and swim at the Coast Guard Academy. We wish Cole Strickland the very best as he awaits that opportunity. "11 laps completed, and Charles Lenahan continues to set the pace, but narrowly over in lane 2, Oliver Luckin of Newington. Charles Lenahan by about a half body length over now Declan Famiglietti of Pomperog. Pomperog had to work hard on their team chemistry this year to create a bond. Their seniors had to mature and take substantial steps forward, but at Pomperog, when you've won 21 state titles and 5 straight that have been completed, Fran Pentino has set such a high bar, and when you raise batters consistently, you don't want to be the class that sees that end. And the seniors have not wanted that tradition to let up. And 4 to 5 seniors have risen to the occasion greatly. They have a tremendous diver in Connor Hegde, and then freshmen like Declan Famiglietti to swim distance events like here in the 500. Pomperog's top distance man, Logan Merritt, is in the championship final coming up. The bell sounds. Out of lane 4, Declan Famiglietti has now made his move. Charles Lenahan of Middletown is still in the picture as a wily veteran senior. We'll see if Famiglietti has enough left in the tank. It appears Declan Famiglietti is not deterred. Famiglietti by a half body length over Lenahan. Third to Oliver Luckin of Newington. Fourth to Gregory Pinchbeck of Wilton. Now a championship heat. And Gavin Page returns. Page, after winning the 200 freestyle earlier, will make that Gavin Page winning the 200 IM earlier today. Gavin Page finished 7th in last year's 500 freestyle as a freshman at last year's State Open. He won the silver in this event last year of the Class M. So now he is here to take home his first gold as in a distance event after winning the 200 IM. Brian Zhang of New Milford is in lane 5. James Hill is in lane 3, freshman from Wethersfield. Robert Picarillo finished 4th last year in lane 2. He'll be a challenger. Adam Mims of Wilton is in 1. Adler Greenwald of Middletown in 6. William Flynn of New Canaan is in 7. And Logan Merritt of Pomperog is in lane 8. Merritt last year finished 6th. 4 of last year's top 10 are in this championship heat. Gavin Page in the water, and perhaps we'll hear Dad and head coach Jason Page go with his very familiar hoot hoot. Huge swimming family. Younger brother Nathan, also an athlete, and we'll see what sports he will choose. Mom was a swimmer at Division II Bloomsburg in the PSAC in Pennsylvania at a Council Rock South, while Dad swam at St. Bonaventure in Olean, a very difficult place to reach, out of Newburgh Free Academy. Gavin Page by a body length and a half through 5. Gavin Page now has opened up a lead of 2.5 body lengths. And Page staying very strong. Now it's 3.5 body lengths. Page through 11 laps could be in position to win this race by a lap. Second place at a lane 6, Adler Greenwald, sophomore from Middletown. And lane 5, Brian Zheng of New Milford. They would be even for second. Fourth, James Hill of Wethersfield. Page by his lonesome. 5 body lengths is the lead. Half a lap for the sophomore from Brookfield. With Dad hooting and whenever he can, as he's under the weather, recovering from the flu himself. Gavin Page hears the bell, and his lead is a half a lap plus. Lane 5, Brian Zheng. Lane 6, Adler Greenwald. That appears to be interesting for second. Gavin Page has been so strong in this championship run that it was boring. Gavin Page, after second place last year as a freshman, is a champion as a sophomore. 4:43.61. Battle for second goes to Greenwald of Middletown. Third to Brian Zhang of New Milford. Fourth to James Hill of Wethersfield. Congratulations to Gavin Page, winning the 200 IM and the 500 freestyle this year as a sophomore. And he will go into Saturday State Open at Yale as a real contender, after finishing 7th last year as a freshman with a full 46.50. So he shaved off about 3 seconds. That'll put him in the hunt. So with a timeout through 8 events, I'll be back and give a top 5 update as we continue on from the boys Class M State Championship on the NFHS Network. And welcome back on the NFHS Network. It's time for Event 9, the 200 Freestyle Relay. We'll have 3 heats. The first one is just 2 teams. Windsor in lane 4, Cheshire in lane 5. Then looking forward to our championship with Paparag, New Canaan, Wilton, Brookfield, all represented. Windsor in the Freestyle Relay. Check that actually in the B final here with Simsbury in 1, Brookfield in 2, Middletown in 3, New Milford in 4, Wethersfield in 5, Avon in 6, Newington in 7, and Torrington in 8. Second swimmers are in. Lane 4, New Milford's Lucas Lehman has the lead over Wethersfield's Ethan Miller. And now Middletown's Charles Lenahan is in the water. Middletown has Cole Strickland, a champion today, as their anchor. While in the water now for New Milford is Bradley Rojas in lane 4. In lane 5, Wethersfield with James Hill. And now the anchors are in the water. Wethersfield's James Sedgedor, New Milford's Brian Zhang, Middletown's Cole Strickland. And it is Strickland on the top of your picture in lane 3, roaring forward. Cole Strickland of Middletown. He did enough. Strickland made up the time. Strickland allows Middletown to take the heat, to finish 9th in the state in Class M, 2nd to Wethersfield, and 3rd to New Milford. Then our championship heat, lane 4, Notre Dame West Haven with Julian Adu. Adu being the anchor. New Canaan will have freshman Stephen Magiera as the anchor. E.O. Smith-Tallon, of course, has Benjamin Pope, already winning the 50 and 100 today. Brookfield will have Zachary Sokol in lane 6. Real talent to conclude the 200 freestyle relay. So Paparag in lane 1, Wilton in 2, New Canaan in 3, Notre Dame West Haven 4, E.O. Smith-Tallon 5, Brookfield 6, Massac 7, Xavier 8. Allow me to give you through 8 events. Here is our top 6 in the team scores. Paparag convincingly 533.5. Brookfield in 2nd, 348.5. Wilton in 3rd, 319. Wethersfield in 4th, 279. New Canaan 5th, 228. Notre Dame West Haven 6th, 212.5. So big gaps from each spot through 8 events, but these relays make a difference and create separation. Underway in the 200 freestyle relay final. Notre Dame West Haven in lane 4, the top seed, has Gavin Giordano started off. It's Giordano out of lane 4 that will hand the lead off to Christian Wilk. And if you're Notre Dame West Haven, you just want to be close to give Julian Adu a chance. Notre Dame West Haven is more than close. They're firm leaders by 2 body lengths. Out of lane 6, Brookfield with Nicholas Colho. 3rd in the water. And Raymond Listorti to try to keep that Notre Dame West Haven momentum. Listorti's lead still 2 lengths, but in lane 1, Paparag with Robert Picarillo making it interesting. Hunter Keene is the Paparag anchor. And it is going to be Paparag, perhaps the challenger to Julian Adu. But the All-State Junior and champion already today, Adu is in the water. Adu, by a body length and a half, will seal it for Notre Dame West Haven. Paparag takes second. E.O. Smith-Tollin takes third. Fourth for New Canaan. 9 events complete. Paparag gave it a push, but Adu simply too overwhelming. We'll head to event 10, the 100-yard backstroke, when we come back on the NFHS Network. Back on the NFHS network to bring you event 10 of 12. The boys 100-yard backstroke in the Class M championships. First the three heats, the C final. Aiden Converse of Brookfield is in lane 4. Wyatt Tavares of Wethersfield in 5. Chris Silva of Paparag in 3. Ephraim Powers of Wethersfield in 2. William Satara of Wilton in 1. James Yan in 7 from Avon. Tristan Lundling of Simsbury in 8. And in lane 6, Joshua Thasham Paleth of Middletown. Hard to pick out a winner here after the first 50. We'll give it to lane 4, Aiden Converse of Brookfield as the leader. And Converse is in. Second to Ephraim Powers of Wethersfield. Third, Chris Silva, Jr. of Paparag. To our B final, Brookfield's Neil Thompson is in 4. Ethan Lamb of Wilton in 5. Cooper Schwartzman of Wethersfield in 3. Nick DeForge of E.O. Smith-Tolland in 2. Jude Matthews of Avon in 1. Owen Carter of Xavier's in 6. Nick Baldelli of Paparag in 7. And Lucas Gizelis of Simsbury is in 8. 3 freshmen in this B final with Thompson, Carter, and Gizelis. For the first 50, let's go with Neil Thompson of Brookfield as the leader. Lane 6, Owen Carter of Xavier. Looks like he is going to be heard from. And Thompson did his work on the turn. That is going to lead Neil Thompson of Brookfield to the win in the second heat. Ethan Lamb of Wilton takes third. Owen Carter of Xavier takes second.
There you go, Owen.
Our championship heat be headlined by a defending champion senior from Wilton, Hirsch Iyer. Oswald Andrews of Wilton, his teammate, finished second last year, is in lane 5. Jack McHugh of Massac is in lane 6. He finished 6th last year. Thomas Martin of Paparag finished 9th. Tyler Silva of Paparag 8th. Mason Iannotti of Massac finished 5th last year, is in 3rd. Will Hardy of Massac is in lane 2. Christopher Muller of New Canaan is in 1. 5 of the top 9 in the 100 backstroke are back in the championship heat this year, including 1 and 2. So Hirsch Iyer, last year's champion of the event, has had a huge senior year, one of 4 captains and a leader. Sister swam at Wilton High School too. 7 seniors on the Wilton roster this year with very good freshmen. And Iyer has very good length. His underwater abilities have improved. The way he's turned over has improved. That's gotten him the chance to swim at Bates in Maine in the tremendous NESCAC. So after the first 50, Iyer the advantage. Oswald Matthews, Andrews rather, his cousin, his teammate is in the vicinity to perhaps make a push. And to the touch it is. Back-to-back gold medals for Hirsch Iyer. Mason Iannotti of Massac takes second. Third goes to Will Hardy of Massac as well. Fourth, Ozzie Andrews of Wilton. Andrews also hoping to swim next year. He's going to be a student at Tufts. Tremendous academically. He got in on his own. And will have a chance to impress the Tufts coaching staff to make a push onto that roster with his very good senior year. 10 events complete. Now to the 100 breaststroke, our final individual event. Lane 4, Charlotte Sohn of Avon, Aiden Camerano of Massac in 3, Howrin Lee of New Canaan in 5, William DiDonato of Pomperaug in 6, Adam Ballo of New Canaan in 7, Nathan Liu of Newington in 8, Dominic Gaudino of Xavier in 2, and Daniel Broken of Wethersfield in 1. Still hard to tell who's in front. It could be Charlotte Sohn of Avon in lane 4. Very hard to tell. It's Aiden Camerano of Massac that touches in first. Sohn of Avon takes second. Third to William DiDonato of Pomperaug. Second heat, top seed of Newington is Garrick Napuli. Reese Katanich of Wethersfield is in 5. Parker Evans of Pomperaug in 3. Ryan Kadoff of Simsbury is in 2. Aaron Fulling of Fitch is in 1. Alexander Wen of Wilton in 6. Giacomo Ponzetto of Brookfield in 7. Nick DeSouza of Brookfield in 8. Lane 6, Alexander Wen of Wilton has a slim lead. Still very close to call. Alexander Wen of Wilton in lane 6. I think, no, it's lane 3, Parker Evans of Pomperaug. championship heat is wide open in the 100 breaststroke compared to several of the other individual events that I've been talking about today. Only 2 of the top 7 from last year are back for the event. Samuel Jacobson of Wilton finished 6th last year, and Brookfield sophomore Kaysen Janney finished 7th. That's it. Ray Listorti of Notre Dame West will be in lane 8. He finished 20th as he is bumped up now to the championship heat. Matthew Dudas of Wethersfield is in 7. Gabriel Pacheco is the top seed of the Fitch Co-op in 4. Henry Gimby of Wilton in 3. Andrew Daukus of Pomperog is in 2. And Yibin Lin of E.O. Smith Tolland is in lane 1. Gold on the line for someone for the first time in the 100 breaststroke. Lane 4, Gabriel Pacheco has set the pace. Samuel Jacobson of Wilton is just about even through the first 50. And now, could safely say it's Jacobson that is in front. It'll be Jacobson of Wilton against Gabriel Pacheco of Fitch. Well, forget that thought. It is Jacobson now about a body length to take gold for Wilton. Gabriel Pacheco takes 2nd for Fitch, 3rd to Kaysen Janney. So we've reached 11 events. Final event coming up, the 400 freestyle relay, when we return on the NFHS network. And back for our final event, the 400 freestyle relay. First of 3 heats. And this first heat has just 2 schools represented, E.O. Smith-Tolland and Windsor. E.O. Smith-Tolland with Jack Huang in lane 4. Windsor's Trevor King right now has a half body length lead as they're halfway through their 100. And Trevor King is going to hand off a lead of nearly 2 full body lengths to sophomore Greg Morrison. E.O. Smith-Tolland will try to make up some of that ground with senior John Cromie. Great to visit with head coach Omar Rosario of E.O. Smith-Tolland, the Hammerheads. He's in his 4th year as head coach, swam at Windham High School, but he's been coaching numerous sports in the district for 30 years. They had a last-minute need, and Omar, with his coaching acumen from other sports, they had a real need. They thrust him into it, and he has wanted to keep it. Meanwhile, Windsor head coach Erica Fangiulo, who is often here helping out greatly during other events. She'll probably be here for the Class LL. Next swimmers in for Windsor is Zain Salim and Kai Ming Feng for E.O. Smith-Tolland. This is Windsor you're watching with Salim out of lane 5. And Salim has increased that advantage to a solid 2.5 body lengths. And here comes Thatcher Mado in for Windsor. Yibin Lin on for E.O. Smith-Tolland. So the anchors are in. Then we'll have our B final, and then our championship, and the coronation of Paparag. Paparag is going to make it 6 straight championships in Class M with no end in sight. And Yibin Lin has already made up a lot of water. And Lin might be even with Thatcher Mado, the anchor for Windsor, on the turn. For the final 15 meters, it's going to be E.O. Smith-Tolland with Yibin Lin. And Lin will do heavy lifting to win the heat, and Windsor will finish 18th in the 400 freestyle relay.
And now for your consolation B final.
The B final, lane 4, Fitch Co-op, Newington in 3, Avon in 5, Simsbury in 6, Bulkley in 7, Torrington in 8, Newington in 3, Cheshire in 2, Massac in 1. Lane 5, Avon with Abir Dutta. Lane 4, Gabriel Pacheco of Fitch is in second. Duta is going to deliver a 2.5 body length lead to freshman James Yan. Fitch Co-op has Robert Vergara in the water. Out of lane 3, Newington with Garrick Napoli putting pressure on Vergara for second. James Yan trying to hold off Fitch's Vergara and Newington's Napoli. Vergara within a half body length on the touch. Now in the water for Avon is Jude Matthews. Out of lane 4 though, blowing past him is Joel Hessepler. And Hessepler already has overtaken Matthews and has a body length lead. It took less than 50 meters. And Hessepler has increased that to 2+ lengths. Third, Newington with Nathan Liu in the water. But Liu still about a body length plus back of Jude Matthews for second. And look at this advantage for Fitch. It's easily 3 body lengths. Fitch with senior Sterling Welsh in the water. Avon with freshman Cooper Brown. Sterling Welsh doing his job. It's now a half lap advantage over Avon's Cooper Brown. Sterling Welsh, what a job by Fitch from Hessepler in particular and Welsh. Second will go to Avon and Cooper Brown. And third to Newington and Jacob Minna, the anchor. Fourth to Cheshire. Championship heat, Notre Dame West, West Haven with Julian Adu being the anchor. Pomperog, they know they have a coronation coming, but they still want to win. Pomperog in 5, Brookfield in lane 6, Middletown in 7, Weathersfield in 8, New Canaan in lane 3, Wilton in 2, and Xavier in 1. So Adu looms for Notre Dame West Haven as the anchor. Paparog counters with sophomore Hunter Keene. New Canaan with freshman Stephen Magera. Lane 8, Zachary Sturgiatis with a strong start for Wethersfield. That's Gavin Giordano of Notre Dame West Haven in lane 4. He pops up first. He's definitely the leader. 4 others very tight for second. Christian Wilk into the water for Notre Dame West Haven. Paparog after Peter White started. Aiden Welch in the water. New Canaan after Oliver Carr started turns to William Flynn. Lane 2 Wilton after Andrew Mims started. It's now Lucas Fontana. But it remains Wilk and the lead for Notre Dame West Haven. But here in lane 6, bottom portion of your screen, Brookfield with Gavin Page. And Page is going to make this very close in the turn after Zachary Sokol started. Lane 2 Wilton with Fontana, but it is Gavin Page who has handed Brookfield second. Now Max Bradshaw for Notre Dame West Haven to try to just give Julian Adu a chance. Bradshaw remains the leader by a full body length over Brookfield in 6 and Wilton in 2. Cameron Place for Brookfield is in. And Hirsch Iyer for Wilton. Now in lane 6, there's real trouble because Cameron Place is right on Bradshaw of Notre Dame West Haven. Lane 2, look out, Hirsch Iyer, gold medalist already. And Iyer about to touch in, senior Oswald Andrews. Julian Adu in the water though for Notre Dame West Haven. Wilton had enough of a lead. Can it hold up over 100 meters? Brookfield with Andrew Hatsis, a sophomore. Adu a half body length behind Oswald Andrews. Adu on the second to last turn has almost made up that water. Now he is even with Ozzie Andrews of Wilton. Lane 6 Brookfield, Andrew Hatsis is also a factor. And now for the final 25, it is Adu, but he's going to get his money's worth from Ozzie Andrews. Adu, though, with powerful strides and strokes, is there. Brookfield takes second. Third for Wilton. And fourth for Paparog. If it was a 390-yard freestyle relay, Wilton could be celebrating with Oswald Andrews. But there was just enough water for Julian Adu to make it up and capture gold. That's our final event here at the Class M Championships. And great races headlined by several heavyweight showdowns with lots of returners and various individuals, and a fun relay to end things off. We'll take pause. I'll come right back with our final point totals, and on the far sideline, Paparog will get ready to jump in the pool in a few minutes on the NFHS Network. to jump in the water. And back on the NFHS network. And the inevitable is about to be announced, with Paparag about to capture their 6th straight Class M championship. Remarkable consistency, top to bottom, for Paparag annually under 32nd year coach Fran Pentino. Pentino got the job at the age of 23 and has started a mastery where he's created a swimming atmosphere. They have a new pool there. The school district has supported it, and he, along with Coach Race Vicious on the girls' side, have created something that the bar is so high it will take years to catch up, to truly build. I'll announce the top 6 in a moment. And Paparag, well, Fran Pentino took off his red tie for some reason. I get on him for damaging his nice white dress shirts, but the tie is salvaged. It's a new tie from one of his children. But congratulations to the Paparag Panthers, capturing their 22nd state title and a remarkable 6th in a row. 2019, and then 22, 23, 24, 25, and now 26. Final totals: Paparag 755.5 points. It's a bit under last year's 819.5. Wilton second, 565. Brookfield 511.5. Weathersfield 418. New Canaan 354. Notre Dame West Haven 353.5. And Paparag chanting USA as well in an ode to the United States, I think, men's and women's ice hockey teams. Congratulations to the Paparag Panthers, champions again in Connecticut Class M. And they do so by a margin of about 200 points. It was narrow for 5th. New Canaan wins it by a half point over Notre Dame West Haven, 354 to 353.5. Great drama at the end that New Canaan was able to come up with. Notre Dame West Haven captured the final, but I think New Canaan finished in 6th. So every spot matters, and for New Canaan, they can say they finished 5th and in the top 5. That'll do it for all of us here at the Cornerstone Aquatic Center in West Hartford, Connecticut. My name is Ralph Binarchik, saying so long and goodbye. We are scheduled for a 6 p.m. Class LL, but you'll want to check the stream because that could be pushed back a little bit further because this Class M got pushed back due to a 50-minute delay. Until then, we'll talk to you very soon on the NFHS network.